Hey everyone, the purpose of this video is to show you the differences in stats between all the Keyblades in 2FM, as well as explain where a Keyblade excels and lacks in. In Kingdom Hearts 2, every Keyblade has an ability attached to it that is activated when the Keyblade is equipped. Because of this, blindly equipping a Keyblade based on its stats alone is not recommended, because oftentimes the ability will be better than the benefit over the stats. Also, keep in mind that a Keyblade equipped to a dry form also has its ability activated when you are in that form, so it's possible to have up to 2 Keyblade abilities activated at one time. Lastly, don't forget quite a few abilities can stack, such as Draw. So what's the best Keyblade? Let's analyze them to find out. The default Keyblade you start off with is Kingdom Key. It has 3 strength, 1 magic, and its ability is damage control, which halves the damage you take when you are in critical HP. This ability was changed in 2FM from Defender. Kingdom Key is a really solid early game Keyblade. It starts off with a decent strength stat, and its ability is great at keeping you alive when you are in critical HP, and it ends up being overall more useful early game than a couple other Keyblades you get. The downside is the Keyblade becomes fairly obsolete after your first few worlds, and its damage output won't be as great later without the game helping scaling your damage. You get this Keyblade from completing the second visit to Twilight Town when you obtain Limit Form. It has 3 strength, 3 magic, and its ability is Form Boost, which slows down drive gauge depletion in a dry form. Oathkeeper isn't a bad choice if you are heavy on dry forms or if you want a Keyblade with balanced stats midway through the game. However, damage output wise, it gets beat out easily by Keyblades like Hero's Crest unless you spam magic more. It also can have a negative effect on you during some fights like Luxord by extending the time you are in dice or card form. You get this Keyblade in the World That Never Was shortly after defeating Xigbar. It has 6 strength, 2 magic, and its ability is Drive Boost, which restores drive quicker during MP charge. Oblivion is a great Keyblade for restoring your drive gauge really quick during MP charge if you need to, and it comes with a pretty solid strength stat. However, it lacks heavily in magic and also gets beaten damage output wise from Decisive Pumpkin's ground damage, so it becomes obsolete before you even get it, as well as its ability not having many practical uses over other abilities. It doesn't help that you can farm drive recoveries easily on the Org Mushrooms throughout the game to replace the need to build drive fast in fights. You get Starseeker along with Valor Form. It has 3 strength, 1 magic, and its ability is Air Combo Plus, which extends your air combos by 1 extra hit. This Keyblade excels for long aerial combos in conjunction with strong aerial abilities like Horizontal Slash or Aerial Impulse. It's a pretty solid secondary Keyblade and can work well with Valor for early game. However, it gets outclassed pretty fast as a main Keyblade by Hero's Crest for damage output. You get Hidden Dragon from completing the first visit of Land of Dragons. It has 2 strength, 2 magic, and its ability is MP Rage, which restores MP based on damage taken. This Keyblade actually has grounds for worst Keyblade in the game. It doesn't really excel in any specific area. Its stats aren't good for when you get it, where Kingdom Key still outpowers it. Its ability is also not particularly useful for most fights unless you intend on getting hit a lot. You get Hero's Crest from completing the first visit to Olympus. It has 4 strength, 0 magic, and its ability is Air Combo Boost, which boosts the damage of the finisher in an aerial combo depending on how many hits are in the combo. Hero's Crest is an extremely good Keyblade for how early you can obtain it in the game. It excels greatly in damage output for aerial combos, and its strength stat beats out any Keyblade you get for a while. Its biggest disadvantage is having a 0 magic stat, but its aerial damage output more than makes up for that. This Keyblade can last you quite a long time, and even endgame if you're using a lot of aerial combos, it's still a viable Keyblade to use. Monochrome is obtained from completing Timeless River. It has 3 strength, 2 magic, and its ability is Item Boost, which increases an item's effect 50% on the field. This Keyblade can be useful if you spam items in fights. It can make potions work like high potions or ethers work almost like elixirs, especially if Sora already has the Item Boost ability learned and equipped. However, this Keyblade doesn't have the damage output capabilities that earlier Keyblades such as Hero's Crest can accomplish, so it restricts it to only one viable use, which is item usage. This Keyblade is obtained from completing the first visit in Port Royal. It has 3 strength, 1 magic, and its ability is Draw, which increases the range in which Sora can grab orbs and item drops. The main use of this Keyblade is its Draw ability. When Draw is stacked, it has incredible range at grabbing orbs and helps greatly in some minigames such as Beast Castle's Org Mushroom. Unfortunately, its stats are obsolete for when you get this by other Keyblades you already will have, so it's not great for combat itself. You obtain this Keyblade by finishing the first visit in Pride Lands. It has 4 strength, 1 magic, and its ability is MP Haste, which increases MP restore speed by 25% during MP recharge. This is technically an optional Keyblade, but most people may get it. Its stats actually slightly edge out Hero's Crest, and its ability is incredibly useful if you run out of MP often. If you are on critical mode, you can stack this with the other MP Haster ability you get at the beginning of the game for fast MP recharging. However, if your combat is more aerial based, Hero's Crest still has better damage output, so keep that in mind if you are unsure of which of the two you'd prefer to use at this point in the game. This Keyblade is obtained from completing Space Paranoid's first visit. It has 3 strength, 2 magic, and its ability is Thunder Boost, which increases thunder-based damage by 20%. Photon Debugger only really excels in dealing crazy thunder damage. You can stack thunder damage an insane amount by equipping Thunder Boost when Sora learns it, as well as synthing and equipping up to 4 Shock Charm pluses. This Keyblade can actually be very useful for synth grinding due to magnet and thunder spam. However, in terms of physical damage, this Keyblade lacks a bit compared to earlier obtained Keyblades like Hero's Crest or Circle of Life if you obtained it. You obtain this Keyblade from opening a chest after talking to Yuna after 1k Heartless. It has 2 strength, 3 magic, and its ability is EXP Boost, which increases EXP gain by 100% when in half HP or less. Gull Wing Keyblade has only one real use, which is leveling up at a fast rate when in less than half HP. Its EXP Boost ability stacks, so you can earn even more EXP with this method. However, this Keyblade becomes useless outside of level grinding, and its strength stat is awful for when you obtain this, even though its magic stat isn't too bad. Rumbling Rose is obtained during the second visit in Beast Castle. It has 5 strength, 0 magic, and its ability is Finishing Plus, which increases the amount of finishers you can do in a combo by 1. The strength stat for this Keyblade is rather high for when you obtain it. Its ability can really buff your damage output on combos when combined with finishers such as Guard Break, Explosion, or Aerial Finish. On critical mode, you can have up to 4 finishers in one combo when you have access to all 3 Finishing Plus abilities with this Keyblade equipped. However, Rumbling Rose's magic stat being 0 hurts you if you use a lot of magic, and due to bosses having revenge values, they won't be hit by more than a couple finishers most of the time. You obtain Guardian Soul from completing the second visit to Olympus, which makes this an optional Keyblade. It has 5 strength, 1 magic, and its ability is Reaction Boost, which boosts reaction command damage by 50%. Guardian Soul is great on bosses that are heavy on reaction commands that deal damage, and Reaction Boost is an ability that can be stacked, which means on critical mode you can have up to 3 abilities active for massive RC damage. The Keyblade also has a pretty solid strength stat. However, overall damage gets edged out by other Keyblades like Decisive Pumpkin, and other similar stat Keyblades like Rumbling Rose also have a better ability suited for more fights than Guardian Soul. Wishing Lamp is obtained from completing the second visit in Agrabah. It has 4 strength, 3 magic, and its ability is Jackpot, which increases drop rate for orbs. This Keyblade is a fairly well-rounded stat Keyblade for when you obtain it, especially if you use magic a lot more than physical damage. Its ability is extremely useful for money farming or score farming in Olympus Cups. However, it lacks overall damage output from other Keyblades you obtain around this time, such as Decisive Pumpkin. This Keyblade is obtained after completing the second visit to Halloween Town. It has 6 strength, 1 magic, and its ability is Combo Boost, which boosts the finisher damage of the combo based on how many hits are in the combo. Decisive Pumpkin is tied for second strongest strength of a Keyblade with Ultima Weapon, and has the strongest ground combo damage output of any Keyblade, especially combined with abilities such as Explosion or Guard Break. This makes it an extremely viable Keyblade throughout the rest of the game, and often earns it the title of best Keyblade in the game for it. However, if you mostly use magic, there are other Keyblades that work better for damage output late game. You obtain Sweet Memories from completing 100 Acre Woods, which makes this an optional Keyblade. It has 0 strength and 4 magic, which was changed in 2FM from 0 magic. Its ability is Drive Converter, which increases drop rate of drive orbs instead of money. This ability was also changed from Lucky Lucky in the original KH2. This Keyblade can be used to level up Master Form incredibly fast, especially if you have not learned the Drive Converter ability yet. However, due to its 0 strength stat, it is almost unviable for physical damage. In 2FM, the 4 magic stat is actually pretty good if you are only specifically using magic or finishers like Explosion that deal magic damage. Many consider this the worst Keyblade, but it still does have uses that put it above others, such as Hidden Dragon. This is obtained through Atlantica, which makes it an optional Keyblade. It has 3 strength, 3 magic, and its ability is Blizzard Boost, which boosts Blizzard output damage by 20%. Mysterious Abyss excels in Blizzard damage, so it can deal massive damage to enemies weak to Blizzard, such as Axle Data. It also has an acceptable magic stat for when you obtain it. However, its strength stat is poor for when this can be obtained, and has no real practical uses outside of a few instances over other Keyblades. This Keyblade is obtained during the second visit to Space Paranoids, which makes this an optional Keyblade. It has 3 strength, 3 magic, and its ability is Combo Plus, which extends your ground combos by 1 hit. Sleeping Lion is only useful if you don't have a Combo Plus ability learned yet and want to extend your combo for a very specific reason, such as leveling Valor Form on the ground. However, this Keyblade has rather poor stats for when it is obtained and is easily outclassed for others for its time. Having Combo Plus abilities also is not preferred in mob fights due to not being able to get to some finishers fast enough, such as Explosion. This Keyblade is obtained after the fight with Axel before the World That Never Was. It has 4 strength, 4 magic, and its ability is Fire Boost, which boosts fire damage by 20%. Bond of Flame is actually a pretty well balanced Keyblade for endgame stat-wise if you plan to use both physical and magic attacks in a fight without planning which. When combined with forms such as Wisdom or Final Form, the fire damage you can output is pretty insane with this Keyblade on, especially if you stack the ability with the one Sora learns. However, this Keyblade doesn't excel in much outside of fire damage compared to having Keyblades with better stats and damage output that you already have at this point, such as Decisive Pumpkin's ground combos or Hero's Crest's aerial combos. 2 Become 1 is a new Keyblade in 2FM obtained after the fight with Roxas in The World That Never Was. It has 5 strength, 4 magic, and its ability is Light and Darkness, which can forcibly invoke Anti-Form during a fight if conditions for Anti-Form are met. This Keyblade's only real use is to obtain Final Form or get Anti-Form in a fight. Its stats aren't too bad, but are easily outclassed for damage output by other Keyblades you already have, and it forces you to not use a drive if you don't want Anti-Form, so it restricts your battle options. It can be used to obtain Final Form within 1 to 5 Anti-Form transformations, but once you have Final Form, this Keyblade becomes almost completely useless. This is obtained from the Goddess of Fate Cup in Olympus, which makes it an optional Keyblade. It has 3 strength, 5 magic, and its ability is Berserk Charge, which during MP recharge removes your ability to do finishers and boosts your strength by 2. An interesting Keyblade that has pretty specific uses. It has the second highest magic stat of any Keyblade and can deal massive damage to enemies during MP recharge with abilities such as Horizontal Slash. It also is a useful Keyblade for some minigames and Org Mushrooms. However, its strength is only acceptable during MP recharge and you lose access to a finisher during MP recharge, which makes killing bosses a tad more difficult, and most bosses will break out of your Horizontal Slash spam during MP recharge anyway, as well as this ability not being really useful in mob fights. You obtain Fenrir from triggering the Cloud vs Sephiroth cutscene in Hollow Bastion after defeating Sephiroth. It has 7 strength, 1 magic, and its ability is Negative Combo, which decreases your hits in a combo by 1. Fenrir has the strongest strength stat of any Keyblade, and you can stack negative combo abilities with one Sora learns to go directly into finishers, which helps in sub-minigames. It also can be good in mob fights when combined with Explosion or Magnet Burst. However, while it has the highest strength, it still gets outclassed by Decisive Pumpkin's ground combo damage, and Fenrir's magic stat is low. Also, having only finishers equipped actually hurts your damage output, as they will break out much sooner if they are getting hit by multiple finishers than normal. Ultima Weapon is obtained through synthing. It has 6 strength, 4 magic, and its ability is MP Hastiga, which increases MP restore speed by 75% during MP recharge. This Keyblade has overall strong balance stats and excels in allowing you to use more magic or limits due to its MP recharging speed. When combined with other MP haste abilities and having accessories such as Full Bloom Pluses equipped, you can restore your MP incredibly quickly, making this a good survival Keyblade if you use Cure a lot in fights. However, this Keyblade's strength stat is tied with Decisive Pumpkin's, which means Decisive Pumpkin's damage output on the ground is more due to its combo boost ability, so it is not the strongest for damage output. The only real problem with this Keyblade is it does not excel in much other than restoring your MP fast, which items can solve easily, but yet is a still pretty well balanced Keyblade. This Keyblade is new to 2FM and is obtained from S-ranking all the Org Mushrooms. It has 5 strength, 7 magic, and its ability is no EXP, which stops you from gaining EXP. Winner's Proof has the highest magic stat of any Keyblade, but that is unfortunately about all it can excel in. The strength stat of this Keyblade is outclassed by endgame Keyblades, and its ability is completely useless on critical mode and generally not that much use even on other difficulties. So after reviewing the stats and abilities of all Keyblades, what is the conclusion of Best Keyblade? Well, the answer is that none of the Keyblades can be the best, because it is heavily dependent on your combat choices or fight you are doing. While Keyblades like Decisive Pumpkin or Ultima Weapon tend to be called the best, that isn't entirely true. While DP would give you best ground damage output, some people may prefer having faster restoring MP, or maybe they prefer aerial combo spam where Hero's Crest could be considered the best for them. So the real point of this video was to try to convey the message that just because someone isn't using something like Ultima Weapon for a fight does not mean they are not using a good Keyblade. That is all for this video, thanks for watching.